Welcome to Charts and Coffee. Great to see everyone. Happy February. Happy Tuesday. Just happy. And we're going to kick off this week. Let's go dive into the economic calendar here just for a moment. And let's see. Here we go. So, Forex Factory calendar. There we go. What we want to take a look at on this Forex Factory calendar is what do we have slated for today, and really what have we dealt with previously during the Asian session. Tuesday is pretty quiet, as you can see, until we get to, bam, ISM manufacturing PMI, jolt. We have some hot zones at the top of the hour, at the very end of the clearing. For our day trades today, we have to be aware of the extra volatility right when the clearing period ends. All right, then we move into Wednesday. What is the market looking ahead to? So what did the market just respond to while we were sleeping, right? What are we going to have in the immediate near term? And then what are we looking at down the road? So we have OPEC meetings again. For those of you that are waiting for crude oil follow through or pullbacks, volatility, right? XLE, OIH, USO, CL, RB futures. OPEC starts up again. We know we're going to see some volatility. We want to take advantage of it by buying pullbacks in energy and energy stocks. We have ADP, which means, you guessed it, now we're counting down to Friday's non-farm payroll. Now, in between all that, it's easy to ignore sometimes that we have economic events from other countries. We have the Bank of England, which I'm usually a little bit more concerned about the ECB. We have that one too, and you'll see there's an ECB press conference. If you've been playing the dollar long, as I have, there's going to be euro volatility. That means dollar volatility. So if you've been waiting for a pullback, there you go. And if you take a look at the week, it all wraps up with the NFP on February 4th, so non-farm payroll. Keep an eye on that calendar, forexfactory.com. Keep an eye on the calendar over at Estimize. Any scheduled high impact headline data economic release. Notice we're not talking about speeches necessarily or press conferences, because those could be elongated events. We want that bam, right? Kind of volatility on the market that we could maybe fade or take advantage of. So that's what's coming up this week. So as always, great to have you all here. Got to keep an eye on that calendar. It's going to keep you from being blindsided by those events that are easy to keep. And then, I'll tell you what, another thing you can do, I'm a big fan of this, is I put a lot of that on my journal. So I've got a journal that I can see the whole week, and then I've got a page that shows me the whole month. And so when I look at the month, I look at what's going on. I'm never unprepared. That kind of redundancy certainly won't hurt. All right, so let's get to it. As always, this show is about your questions. So let's jump into it. And first up, Peter mentions, I did not buy the NQ at the low. Right. And how would we know it's the low, Peter? Right. I mean, let's be frank. Looking back, we know it's a low, but which one of these? Was it the 19th and 20th, or was it the 21st? Oh, no, maybe it was the 24th. No, maybe it was the 20th, right? So how do we know it's the low? So let's not put on ourselves the pressure of being fortune tellers. Nobody knows what the low is, right? Now, if you're looking for a bounce, this one is actually one I would short. In fact, I've got it on my list, RTY and NQ. The structure is bearish, right? Both the momentum and the trend. And as we head up into this area, that's resistance, gang. Now, to your point, Peter, if you are looking for an oversold level to take advantage of, right, a low, right, that's more S&P. So again, get the watch list part of it right, and it could be a particular sector that you find is sitting at an oversold support level. Neutral trend opens up, right? Neutral trend opens up the potential oversold. So you can see right there, there's your slow stochastic. There's your support. There's a confirmation that a support buy makes sense. So it's not that a low couldn't be sought after. You can see that right in here, lining up. It's where are you looking for the low? So I believe NQ is still bearish. Absolutely. So is NQSL the rip? Yes. But ES and YM are not. That being said, if ES and YM continue higher, NQ might join along. But if NQ starts heading lower, ES and YM might also head lower because of that shared technical weighting. So don't put pressure on yourself to guess at what a bottom is. We don't know what the top is. We don't know what the bottom is, but we do know that if the market's in chop, we can start to use Darvis and stochastic to find where those oversold support levels, I guess you can call that a bottom, right? Might be. All right. So thanks for the question, Peter. All right. Next up, JRS asks, what are my open positions, if any? So we took profits on General Mills, Coke, Schwab, and Wells Fargo last week. We hit the T1, moved the stop to break even, and then we're out because the volatility took them back down again. So not how I want any trade to end. I want a trade to go to T1, T2, T17. That's what we want, right? But break-even stops prevent us from letting a winner turn into a loser. Having said that, the only open positions that I've got are probably, let's see. Yeah, they're futures positions. So 60 short, ZN short, double reds at one time. Where is it that I can buy dollars? Well, one way to do it is short the euro. Another way to play the higher yields is to short the ZN, short the ZB. So mostly futures contracts, which, by the way, all three of those, euro, 10-year long bond, have liquid ETFs that we can get long puts in. So those are what I have. I'm trying to think, because I've got my stock positions, I've got my options, and then futures. I'd say futures right now would be the open trades, but they're relatively mature open trades at this point. All right, what are my thoughts on PG? All right, let's jump into it. Eric, my thoughts on PG are, first of all, this is the number one weighted stock within the XLP, which I don't like in terms of the tide, right? This is kind of a neutral, as you can see here. Neutral trend, neutral tide, moving sideways. However, if I open up, do I have this open here? No, well, let's do this. So I open up XLP. There's my Procter & Gamble number one. There are names in the XLP that I like better. Procter & Gamble is probably a really good proxy. All right, there we go. It's a really good proxy for XLP. They're more or less going to move very similarly. I would say that if I had to choose one of the sideways markets within XLP, really two of them, this one looks very good off the 200 propulsion. This one has some excellent, Procter & Gamble has some excellent, look at that Darvis support. What's not to like about that? That's perfect. So extend that automated support and resistance over. Okay. And then this is a great place where, if you look at the bottom of the chart and you have your slow stow. All right. This is where you want it down by the 20, giving confirmation that this is indeed support. Okay. So that's what I think of Procter & Gamble, but please prioritize the dips and the double greens in the bullish trend, bullish momentum first. But I like Procter & Gamble off that Darvis zone, probably better than I like XLP off a somewhat more volatile but similar Darvis zone in a neutral market trend. Okay, so thanks for the question. Next up is KRE. That one's absolutely on my watch list. I love the regional bank narrative. It doesn't have a great technical trend, right? So if I look at the technicals of this particular chart, what gets my attention is what's gotten my attention in the past. Let's get down to this 200. Neutral market, slow stochastic. Let's get down or close that 200. Neutral market, very close to that slow stochastic. So there's a lot to like there. Okay. I do like that setup the closer we get to 68. You can be a little bit more aggressive. Notice we have the Darvis 3.0 signal right in here. That means that the precursor to a box, it has happened, but the box itself is not ready for prime time. Okay, so keep an eye on that. But KRE is really interesting the closer we get to that 200. All right. So thank you for the question. Again, neutral market, pull up your oscillator, whatever it may be. Ready, aim, fire, slow stochastic. Those are the two that I would recommend. I mean, I can't think of any others. So those are definitely the most powerful. I can't think of any others that I've used throughout my career that are as accurate as these. All right. So thank you for the question. Moving on to XLU. Sure. All right, XLU. Chop. Again, how are we determining this? There it is, neutral trend. Bearish momentum, which is fine because that's what's driving us down to this 200 propulsion. 200 propulsion in a neutral environment, that's a good looking setup. And we do have quite a few of those happening. So, as far as what to do with it now, nothing, right? Nothing. Because in chop, I need to find where are we oversold? Where is the support, right? And that's where I want to act. Now, if this is the candle that's getting your attention, that's fine, but that's definitely not my swing. That's not my pitch. Because once the market's moved away, well, this is follow through for me. Now, if someone's a momentum trader, I get that. And that would be probably as we broke 68. And this again is still follow through. We're probably getting very close. This is your high, right? This is your low down in here where the support is. Yeah, there's your high to low move. We're getting very close to that 50% where usually there's a little bit of a stall within the context of chop. So heads up for that. All right, what are my thoughts on NQ's movement yesterday? NQ, again, I'm not enthusiastic about shorting rips, but if there's an environment that we can, this is the one. This is the one. So double red, right? This is a downtrend. We're south of the 200. We've corrected to the 200. We're very close to the resistance of the wave. So we bounced. I mean, that's really it, gang. Think about every move within. I'll tell you this, and I get it. It's so easy to get wrapped up in these few candles, right? The same way that we all got wrapped up in these few candles, right? This is, oh my gosh, the world is ending, and this is, oh my gosh, yay, the world isn't. If we are looking at this outside of the context of this, it's like that story you hear of people that get lost in the woods, which is just a depressing thought. And they keep walking in one direction, but they have no idea where they are. They don't know they might be right near the edge of the forest. They're just wandering. When they feel somehow, oh, they've walked enough and they haven't seen a result, then they'll turn around. And what ends up happening? They're just walking around in circles. They're just covering the same path. So the way that we can prevent that tragedy is know what the trend is, right? Know where we are within the context of the market. This is a downtrend. Now, like I said, if we want to focus on short the rips, this is it. If we want to focus on oversold buys, S&P and the Dow are still neutral in their underlying structure. That's where we want to focus on. Where is the support? Where is the stochastic oversold, right? So get the structure first. And then the context of the momentum is different. Now you know where you are in that forest. Most traders don't. So what they do is they just sort of get yanked around by momentum for a few days. Oh my gosh, we're going to 12,000. It's all over, right? And then now look how quickly the sentiment changes. Sentiment changes with most traders, and I don't say this in a good way. It changes with most traders with price. Our sentiment and trend doesn't change candle to candle, not really, right? We'll look at the movement within the bigger picture, right? That's the big picture. And then we can give it a little bit more context. Yeah. Okay. So hope that helps, right? I mean, I think most traders are just following momentum, and even worse, they're living the markets through a 30-minute or 60-minute chart. And it becomes very difficult to step back and say, but where are we really? How much of a pullback have we seen? Is this really a downtrend? And intraday timeframes aren't necessarily where you want to calibrate that opinion. They're very tradable, don't get me wrong. But you don't want to calibrate your opinion about what the markets are doing in the big picture based on those longer term intraday charts. All right, what about Target? Sure. So if I take a look at Target here, is this a short the rip? Well, structure dictates strategy. Strategy is also then confirmed by the resistance here of the 200. We're south of the 200. We're south of that equator. There's a very different opinion, gang, when we're able to stay above that 200 as opposed to when we've broken below it. And so, yes, this is short the rip. Absolutely. And the wave is my preference, but look at the Darvis, look at the 200, and it's going to be a zone. So we can scale in as we trade up into that zone. All right. Am I still long XLU? And reminder to Hulk smash that like button. I appreciate that, Ronaldo. No. So here, would I be long here or am I still long? No, I don't have a long position, but I love where your head's at. Neutral market, 200, right? That's what you want to do. But the closer we get to the 50, the closer we get to that 50%, you do want to scale out. So if you are Ronaldo, pay yourself while you can, not when you have to, right? And we'll definitely go from there. We'll see if we can keep moving higher. Don't know, right? But pay yourself around that midway point and you'll be really good. All right, Jalen says, I bought your indicator package during Thanksgiving, and now I've been hearing you say the tools are free. Clear the earwax, Jalen. No, the TOPS tools are free. So I don't know what indicator you purchased. There's a number of indicators that I've had for a long, long time that are free, right? TOPS has always been. I would never do that to you, Jalen. Are you kidding me? I know so many people have bought my V-score and all those other things. I would never give those away for free. Not when I know that my members, who I absolutely adore, are paying their good hard-earned money for that. And nor am I going to stop using tools that I've always used. If I've sold them, believe me, they're on my charts. So if you've got my V-score, you then have the Darvis 3.0, which has been the upgrade of the 2.0. That's the Darvis. We call it the Darvis signals. You've got that. You've got the JT multi. Those aren't things that I give away. So just the TOPS is. And the TOPS has been free since 2017. It's just that some people don't know that there's a really great foundation of indicators here when they join Simpler. Just as when you did, grab candles, wave, you knew those were free, right? But you've got the premium tools. You've got V-score. You've got V-profile. You've got the anchored VWAPs that I use. You've got all the settings that I share. You've got the Darvis 3.0 signals. You've got the JT multi. So no, my friend, don't let your head tell you, oh my gosh, now they're all free. I don't give my good stuff away. All of it. I give a lot of it away, but I don't give all the good stuff away. But the TOPS is free, and it always has been, Jalen. So nope. If you ever have a question, feel free to ask like you did, and I'll tell you straight up. And if you've been listening to me, I've never said V-score is for free, right? So make sure you're asking if ever you have that seated out. Okay, next up is Hubs. I never call my husband Hubs. I don't know. Some people do. Yeah. All right. HUBS. Beautiful downtrend, short the rip. 21 EMA is usually where I like to start doing that. Clear into the wave below the 200. This is exactly the kind of short the rip environment you want to focus in on, right? Okay, cool. All right, moving on to Fierce Logic. I have new money to put to work, but don't want to jump into the indices yet. Is there a commodity bond ETF to invest in while waiting for the equities to bottom? Oh, that's a lot to unpack, and I don't have the time for it. Fierce Logic, time frame matters, time horizon matters. So I'm not really sure what your time horizon is. Is it something you want to be in for 6 months, a year or more? Or is it, you want to do a little bit of trading where it's a few weeks, a few days to a few weeks? I know that new money is very itchy. New account, you're ready to go. New tools, like I was just talking about with Jalen there, we're ready to go. Get the time horizon and the time frame straight first. And I'm not really sure what that is. I don't want to jump into the indices yet either. The only one that's close to maybe some shorts would be the NAS and the Russell. I might short the rip in that area. Long IWM calls, long QQQ calls. We might even go XLY. That thing's been looking like a nice dumpster fire for a short. XLC, right? But QQQ and IWM puts or something I'm watching. But yeah, if you can let me know what your time frame, time horizon is, I can definitely, probably point you in a little bit more direction. Do I have any contact details like WhatsApp or Instagram? I'm on Instagram. It's at Raghee Horner. I'm on Twitter. It's at Raghee Horner. I'm on Facebook. It's at Raghee. And let me mention this, and this is a really good reminder. Nor will anybody from Simpler ever, ever, ever DM you all soliciting money for investments, crypto, Forex, none of that. They are scammers. Tell them to go beep, yeah, quickly, and then move on. So if you find someone that is hitting you up for that kind of nonsense, it's not us. I know John just had that. We're always dealing with these little boops all the time. I mean, they're awful. They're awful. Want to take a long walk in the woods with them and come back alone, these jerks. So be careful. But yes, we are. I think most of us are on social. And but you're getting the best content here at the YouTube channel or the free videos, etc. So thank you for the question. All right, gang, I am straight up out of time. I will see you all. Are they free with the mastery? Jalen, I'm going to be with you all on Wednesday. Any question you have about premium or free tools, hit me up. We'll talk about settings. I'll talk about which is which, and I'm happy to explain. But again, for everybody, if you head on over to Countdown Trader, the Grab candles, the 34 EMA wave, Darvis 2.0, and Propulsion. Those are available, and those are the tops layouts. Premium tools, V-Score, V-Profile, Anchored VWAP, JT Multi, and we have, and my slow stochastic. There are a number of things that we make available as premium tools. Yes, there are things that I make available to mastery folks like yourselves, Jalen, like our expanded HPMRs, right? Membership has its privileges, but something that was premium will not be free, okay? Not openly free. There's some things I give mastery folks like yourself, right? If you have any questions, ask me on Wednesday. I'll be happy to go through it indicator by indicator. All right, my friend, you've got the Darvis 3.0 signals. So remember, you get that little signal showing you the pattern within the box, which is super helpful. But for those of you that want to start off with automated support and resistance, the only one we have, the best one we have, also the free one we have, is available at countdowntrader.com. All right, gang, be good to each other. Now I'm really late. I'll see you soon.